sea. Find a dust guard.
War never changes.
Every heart return to darkness.
If only I could be so grossly incandescent.
My life with this.
I need a weapon.
All right, it is episode 2 of B through Z. Wow, we've made it.
What a journey.
Started from the bottom.
Now we're
here. Yeah, we're straight up Draking this whole thing. I am Zilrog, as always. Yeah, you should know this shit by now. I'm here with El Burbujas.
Yes, I am El Burbujas. I know it's only been one episode, but you should really...
We're pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal. So let's just jump right into what we got here today. There's an elephant in the room.
Again?
Yes, there's once again an elephant in the room. Today is Friday, the 19th of December, and
18th.
It is the 18th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I don't know. I'm all messed up. Because we were out at a midnight premiere last night for a movie that just came out. And you might not have heard of it. It's called Star Wars. And it's something about some force awakening people. waking people up when they're sleeping and forcing them awake. Something like that. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, Star Wars The Force Awakens came out today. And we saw the midnight showing last night. Mm-hmm. Michael and I had our first real relationship argument. I said that we should get there early because we need to get in line for seats. And Michael was saying, you're being crazy. And I was being crazy because I drastically overestimated the amount of people that were going to be there. But we're going to keep this extremely spoiler-free, but we do need to talk about it.
Yes.
We need to get this out.
So I've done a lot of thinking. I think every minute since the credits rolled, mm-hmm. I've did nothing but think about that movie that we just watched, which was Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And I think it is probably one of the best Star Wars movies ever made.
Say what you really feel.
I think it's the best Star Wars movie ever made. Honestly, maybe Empire's a little bit better, but
you don't have to say what you think people want to hear. You say what you feel, man.
Listen, that movie was amazing.
It was. And
I watched all the Star Wars movies right before. I've seen them 100 times, so I didn't need to do that, but I did it anyway. And I think this movie was it was really good and better.
Yeah. No, I have to agree. It was amazing. I mean, it's like, to me, up until this point, one of the only things that really gave Star Wars the treatment that I felt it deserved was some of the newer games that were coming out and the cinematics that were in them look really good. Mm-hmm. And it really puts together the Star Wars in the way that you would want to have seen it in the first place, with the really cool fight scenes, like the Force being used in how the Force really can be used, other than just like, you go thrown. And I mean, I'm not blaming any of the older movies. They did awesome jobs, obviously, or they wouldn't be so famous. But the fact that it's this newer one and this everything looked incredible. And it was super awesome. And I loved it too. And I think I'd be right there with you saying that it's my favorite Star Wars movie. Yeah. And I mean, it definitely beats Episode 1, which is my favorite before.
Hold on.
I'm kidding.
I think from the second the movie starts till the end is just a wild ride. It's amazing.
Our tech guy's calling me. Piece of shit.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, what were you saying about the movie, Michael?
I just think, so in contrast to the older films, I'm not even going to consider the prequels because they were so awful.
Right, the prequels don't exist.
But the new characters were amazing, and they was so respectful to the style of the old films, but at the same time, still not completely pretending the prequels didn't happen, trying to keep some sort of cohesiveness in the universe.
Yes.
I just thought it was so good, and I was so ready for it to be just okay, and me being okay with it being just okay.
Me too. My standards were very low for it.
But it wasn't like I wasn't ready to be disappointed, but at the same time I was like, this is going to be good enough. And I was like blown away by how much better it was than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I think everyone should go see it. Obviously. Even if I think, if you're one of those assholes that just thinks Star Wars is ruined forever, then you can go fuck yourself
Yeah,
and
totally.
be left out of the biggest cultural event in American history.
Cultural event in American history. It's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
No, I really liked it too. I mean, the newer characters were great. With the older characters, it all worked out very, very well. And I'm excited to see the other movies.
I'm excited to see this movie again.
Yeah.
I really like.
We're gonna start playing the Star Wars MMO again because of this movie. Michael was telling me before we started recording that he's thinking about buying Battlefront specifically because of this movie.
I just need more Star Wars.
Yeah. No, you can never have enough Star Wars. That's the problem. But I do. There's a big thing I need to talk about from this movie. Something that happened that I need to tell everyone, and it cut me deep. There are these assholes sitting in front of us, and you thought I was going to say something else, didn't you?
Yeah. So there's these.
So
guys.
there was a group of probably 8 kids sitting in front of us, and I thought they were really cool at first because they were playing Hearthstone.
Yeah,
and
they
I was
were
all
like
excited.
15, 16 years old. Probably.
Yeah, and I was like, "You guys are playing Hearthstone? What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. I was like trying to make friends, and
Trying to make friends.
I was trying to get out of you guys. I was like sitting next to all of us. This is terrible.
We're an awful group.
You're horrible. And but yeah, they were okay at first, and then it just spiraled downhill.
Yeah, like
those little douchebags.
Everything that happened in the movie, they would just be like, "Oh, do you believe that?" And then
this character's here still. Yeah.
And at the end, he turns around and like kind of like mostly to his friends, but kind of like
he
the
wanted
rest of the
other
crowd.
people's attention.
He's
as well.
like, "It's
Yeah.
exactly what we thought it'd be, guys." And I was just like,
made the same movie.
and I was uncertain. I was like, "It's exactly what we thought it was," and it's like it was really good.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I just like wanted to punch him in his little head.
And as time continues to move forward, we keep thinking about how we want to go back in time and punch his head even more.
I'm hoping that when we go see it again, he'll be there again.
Yes, that'd
to
be
make
great.
fun of it
right
again.
there in front of it, and then we will just punch him right in the head. But we'll wait until the end of the movie in respect for Star Wars.
Yeah, right when credits
and
roll.
then we'll say something about how he's Jar Jar Binks, how this character is real life Jar Jar Binks, and then we'll just deck him in the face.
How would?
Yeah, and that's how would. And then we just no. But yeah, so I mean, that's all we're gonna say about Star Wars. I think we need to move on because we really don't want to spoil
Spoilers are
anything for
slipping on my-
anybody. Yeah, I know. It's coming out. Moving on. So, some big news happened this past week.
Pretty big. Ish.
As of December 15th, a certain someone who makes a certain specific types of amazing games was free of his devil contract and was picked up by
He was released from his chains.
Yes. Konami has released Kojima, and you're free, you bastard. No, but really, Kojima, his employment contract ended with Konami on December 15th, and that same exact day, just like when a super hot chick goes single, you see that from in a relationship on Facebook to single, you know?
Everyone starts commenting.
Yeah, Sony jumped on that shit, and Sony has become my new relationship goals for life. Watching the CEO react to the way that he looked at Kojima. Yeah, Sony and Kojima are teaming up to make some amazing shit, and I just wanted to say some of the stuff that he was quoted saying. Kojima was saying, he said that the December 15th, when he was released from his contract, he actually stated this marks a new start for him. And that says a lot for how he felt about working for Konami up until that point, and that still he is committed to be involved in creative activities for as long as he lives, end quote. And when I was reading that earlier, we were talking about it, and it's, for me, it seems like Kojima makes these games and helps make these games, and one of the reasons they're so good has to be because of this amount of passion that he has for them.
Yeah.
You hear people say this when they make songs or when they make other forms of art, but not a lot of people will say, video games are art, but not a lot of people are this type of passionate about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the difference is. I think that's why he's got, plus this whole Konami thing is turning him into I mean, it's almost like Konami's being a martyr to make Kojima look like this godlike hero.
He looks like a rock star.
He is a rock star right now. He really is. And I mean, you got to thank Konami because he was picked up by Sony instantly, and I can only imagine the offers he got, and it was more than just because he's a great video game developer. It was also because in the public eye, you know, he was this like he was the underdog hero, kind of, you know, being released from the evil corporation. So it was like there was more going on that really helped him look so damn good right now. And I think I'm excited to see what happens.
I mean, there's nothing but good PR for Sony. Like,
oh yeah,
Sony's been on a roll with, like, ever since they announced the PS4, and like they just they just beat their competitors every step of the way, and they just look so cool doing it.
They do.
And they get Kojima, and you know, and they're just giddy beyond belief in their little boardroom.
Oh god,
we
were talking about it, saying that they called him or emailed him or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we want you to work for us, and then they get the email back, yes, and there's just cheers and high fives
in the boardrooms.
Those New Year's poppers.
Yeah, we got Kojima. Well,
the sign comes down.
I think it's great that Konami has probably like one of the worst PR people ever, probably, who just like, for some reason, decides to just give absolutely zero fucks about what people think of them in the industry that they are most prominent in.
Yeah.
And good, you know, good for them.
Thanks Konami.
Thanks,
you did
Konami.
a good job there.
Kojima look like a king.
Yeah, for real though. I mean, it's just cool. I mean, not cool. It's interesting to look at this because from people from the outside perspective, it's so you see this and you're like, what the fuck was Konami thinking with all of this?
Yeah.
What the fuck was they thinking when they said you're not allowed to show up to the video game awards? Did they think that wasn't going to get out, you know? And then, I mean, just all around, like, the whole thing. And don't quote me on this, but if I remember correctly, the whole reason he wanted to leave, him and they had the differences, was because he found out that Konami workers weren't being treated right in specific areas where they were working.
That may be one of the...
I believe that's what it was. And, I mean, to not defend yourself, but then to fight back and get angry and act like a kid about it, like, you're just digging a grave, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just, it's sad because it all happened so recently after the Phantom Pain came out. And I played the shit out of the game. I love that game. It's the only Metal Gear Solid game I've played to date. So it was my first one that I played.
Wow.
Yeah. And and I loved it. I thought it was so cool. But the whole time you're playing, you got this bittersweet feeling like, oh, this is gonna be the last one. You know, like,
the last real one.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Konami.
I think there's a good chance Konami is gonna take a break from making games, like real games, for a while. Like,
they'll probably try to hide.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't really think about this, but they have a really successful pachinko.
What is pachinko?
Pachinko's a stupid fucking game that's really popular in Japan, where it's like weird. It's a weird gambling game. It's basically like slots, but different.
Wait, is it that thing where the ball drops down? There's all the pins. Oh, okay. They have really good successul ones in Japan.
Yeah, they released a Silent Hills pachinko machine. Like that was like
terrifying. If you lose, do you die?
Well,
all of a sudden, fog descends on you.
It was like I remember when that news came out, because it was one of the most like disappointing news things ever. Because there was like rumors. They're like,
about
there's something about Silent Hills. Like, though they copyrighted some Silent Hills thing, and everyone's like, what's going on? And like, Silent Hills pachinko machine. And like, oh my fucking god, are you serious?
You click a button and it's Silent Hill themed. So cool.
But
wow.
So I mean, there's a good. I don't. You know, they have the rights to these intellectual properties that'll probably make them a lot of money if they decide to do anything with them. But I think they're going to take a break on it for a while, and let Kojima just kind of
do his thing, and then hopefully allows this thing to sweep under the rug for him. You know, and then come back later and make something good. He's
not allowed. I read that it. Like, they have some weird rule with him and Konami. He's not allowed to talk about Konami anymore.
Oh, yeah. He's not allowed to talk about the details of him leaving or anything either.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to speak about it. So they're just... they're just on top of wrecking their image. Like,
They look like such shitheads.
if you have so much to hide that you do like a clause like that, like, oh, by the way, when you're leaving, you're not allowed to say a goddamn thing about the slave labor we have here, you know, like
Do not mention the slave
do
labor.
not mention the child labor, and you know the fact that we make all of our chairs with human skin. Like what like what do you have to hide so much that you do this to yourselves, and it just looks so bad. You know,
Yeah.
and it's just, I mean, to the outside eye, to someone who doesn't work in PR, myself, it doesn't make any sense to me. But there has to be some reason that they're doing this.
Maybe it is just so bad. This is the only
Maybe it is, yeah.
this awful direction they're going is the only safe way.
This is better than what is actually going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's just intense. That's scary.
You know what? Real quick. Also, I was reading that Kojima Productions was saying that they also might work on things besides video games. Like they might work on anime and like comic books.
That'd be kind of. They'd make some cool anime. I
would be-
think.
I would love to see an anime made by Kojima.
Do you know how many boobs would be in that anime?
Oh my god.
Let's be honest. Like, I'm sorry that this is 2 podcasts in a row now where I mentioned boobs very early on into it, so I apologize to all of our listeners for sounding like such a pervert. But the fan service in the Metal Gear Solid games.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I brought that up. You got your anime where it's already super sexualized, and then you've got fucking Quiet who breathes through her skin so she can't wear a bunch of clothes. Like, that is the stupidest. Hey, I'm not complaining, but that is the stupidest reason. Whatever. It's a great game otherwise.
Yeah. All I can think about when it comes to Kojima right now is the game he didn't get to make, the Silent Hills game that he was trying to make.
I'm just hoping that comes back.
Well, I feel like it has to, like,
They got to do something. Yeah.
I feel like he's the kind of guy that, you know, he begins to create something and he can't let it go until it's done.
How could you give up on that? Any human being who appreciates projects that they make on their own would not be able to give up on that.
Yeah.
With the overwhelming support that the freaking demo got, you know, I just heard some freaking news the other day that people were finding ways to re-download that demo. Mm-hmm. They were finding ways to re-download PT because the demo alone was the scariest game of 2015.
It definitely was.
I played Soma. Like, I have severe fear of the ocean, and Soma scared the shit out of me. But playing PT was a whole nother level.
I said for a long time in 2015, I think PT, even though it's not really considered a game, might be my game of the year. Because it was so good.
And it was fucking in depth. With all those numbers and shit, there was so much to a demo, you know?
A free demo.
So, I mean, obviously, that all the created stuff is probably in the hands of Konami, so they're going to have to start from scratch, which kind of sucks. But I feel like in someone who cares about their video games as much as he does, in his eyes, it's probably worth it to him to restart that. And my assumption on the sales for that would mean that it's probably worth it too. You know?
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I want to see that. And what did we say last week? I want to see PT, Guillermo del Toro, Pacific Rim. Pacific T.
Pacific T.
A scary Pacific Rim movie. Christ, that'd be horrifying.
I would love that.
It's like Cloverfield meets Pacific.
I love that movie.
Cloverfield?
Yeah, that was my favorite movie for
You know what's
3
really
years.
stupid is a lot of people are going to hate that you said that. So many people hated on Cloverfield.
Well, then go fuck themselves.
They can. I agree, because I really liked Cloverfield too. When I went and I saw Cloverfield in the theaters, I was sitting next to my friend David, and the scene where Lizzie Kaplan explodes, I grabbed him and I go, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" And he goes, "I'm sitting right here. Of course I saw that." And I was like, I got really way too excited about that.
I yelled no when that happened.
It was horrifying.
I loved her.
Dude, Lizzie Kaplan's amazing.
She's great.
Like, she's the greatest.
But I remember, I saw Cloverfield in 2008, and I was like, this is my favorite movie. And that stayed for a whole year.
It's a great movie. It really was. And so I don't understand why people have to hate on it as much as they do. So shut up, douchebags, hating on it. You're stupid.
Hey, you know who made that movie?
Who?
J.J. Abrams.
Did he really? Mm-hmm. I did not know. That's pretty.
And he
awesome.
also made Star Wars, so you know.
Yeah, no, did he, whoa.
So you know.
He made the Star Wars. Whoa.
But yeah, I thought Cloverfield was a great movie, and
Me too.
I didn't know people disliked it.
Yeah, there's like and I think it was because it was one of those first one of the first big shaky cam movies.
Yeah, handy cam movies.
Yeah, I think a lot of people hated that. They're like, "Oh, that's sick for me," blah blah blah. But dude, that was a great movie. Mm-hmm. There was for like in most horror movies now, in most movies in general, everything is so predictable. But dude, that movie was great. And I think one of the big things I was trying to say is that there were scenes in it that I gasped at. Mm-hmm. And I don't gasp at scenes all the time because they're so obvious sometimes. Most of the time now. You know, especially as you get older, you're like, okay, this is a format I've seen before. But the scene when the dude's on the bridge and the thing just goes, wham! You're just like, whoa! You know? Like, I mean, shit like that made me gasp.
I think something that definitely talk about a movie from 2008 real quick for 5 minutes. But I think there was like a whole secrecy thing behind like where did this monster come from? And J.J. Abrams like left clues in the movie and in the special features and oh man, I was so obsessed with it.
It's when you make a movie more than just the movie itself that really gives more to it. When you go Google shit like where did the Cloverfield monster come from, and then you find that at the end of the movie when it shows that beginning clip, you can see something in the ocean moving, like all that stuff. Anyways, as much as I love talking about 7-8-year-old movies, you know, we should probably move on. But yeah, so some of the other news that I heard recently was that the Uncharted 4... So, I've been a big fan of Uncharted for a while. I played 1 through 3. I didn't finish 3, unfortunately. But Uncharted 4 was announced. They use grappling hooks, and they swing a lot. So, I'm really excited because I like grappling hooks a lot.
Everybody does.
Who doesn't, right? And apparently the trailer for Uncharted 4 was playing in theaters before some of the Star Wars 7 movies. So, like, in theaters as a trailer, a video game was playing. And I think that is saying quite a lot about where video games have ended up today. I mean, it has been strictly movie previews for the length of movies. I mean, since movies came out, you know? And the fact that, I mean, obviously a great crowd to I'm thinking about Super Smash Brothers. A great crowd to put this to is the people who are going to see Star Wars. Obviously, they're probably gamers. So
maybe
I just think it's really cool.
I think it also like I mean Uncharted lends itself really well to kind of like a big screen attitude because it is such a cinematic game.
That's true.
And with I mean Drake in that game, he's such a Han Solo type. You know, like he's so roguish, and what a better movie to put.
That's true. The similarities in the characters, huh?
I mean, Han Solo is the rogue, and why not just put this cinematic game that definitely a character like who is obviously inspired by.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's just really freaking cool. That video games are at a point now where trailers are coming before movies.
I don't think you're going to see this that often, honestly. But
me neither.
Like games like this, like games like Uncharted and like Last of Us, like really cinematic, really important games. Yeah. Who are funded by Sony, who has enough money to put them up there. Because that probably costs them a lot of money. Yeah. They're like, hey, can we put a video game trailer in the beginning of your movie? What?
At the beginning of Star Wars?
Here's $7 million. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
You can put a porno.
But yeah, I think that's a pretty big step for video games, and I don't think we're going to see a lot of that. But like, I mean, this is the first step. Maybe 10 years down the line, we're going to see it a lot more often. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that would be really cool. And you're right. It is because of the cinematicness of those games, and I think it would only work for games like that because those types of trailers are so closely related to movie trailers that it matches very well. Mm-hmm. So I do want to switch it on over to our first segment of the night. We have 20 seconds to introduce Michael's Minute here because you need to be prepared, my friend. We're going to start you up. So Michael's Minute is where I release Michael from his cage to talk about what ails him this week, what has frustrated him, and allow him to release all the anger that he possibly can. I am going to do my best to time this out of a minute, and I'm not going to sit here and wait until it ticks down to another minute. So whenever you're ready, big guy, you just let me know, and I will start the counter.
All right, I mean... okay.
Unique New York. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, on the count of 3 here. 1, 2, 3.
Let me tell you what's bothering me this week, guys. Nintendo. Yes, Nintendo, the publisher, the game developer that we all grew up to love, the reason we all play video games today, is ruining the game industry. Well, at least their own side of the game industry. They released the Wii U, and that console is awful. It's got awful sales. It's doing worse than the Dreamcast did. And who cares? Nobody cares about the Wii U. Nobody's going to buy their games. Nobody's getting to play these games that from characters we love. Nobody's playing any Mario games. Nobody's playing any Zelda games because nobody owns a Wii U. And now they're making the NX. Who cares? Nintendo, please don't make another console. Just stop. Give up. Do not make another console. Just make software and give all your licenses to all your characters to other publishers so we can play Mario games on PS4 and on PC, and then you'll start seeing some money again. Nintendo, you'll finally see some money, because you're definitely not seeing any right now, I can guarantee you. And I'm sorry if I made anybody mad with that.
Hey, that was perfect. That was exactly a minute, friend. Way to go. That was Michael's minute. Now get the fuck back in your cage. Get the fuck back in your cage. You'll make me pull the gun like I did last week. I don't want to have to do that.
I feel like such an asshole for saying that.
I like how you're two different people when it comes to Michael's Minute. We start you up on Michael's Minute and you just go off, and then the minute you come down, it's like out of where Michael mode, and you're just like, I'm sorry, guys. But you're not. I mean, I like that you stand by the stuff you say, and the fact that you can bring up that the Wii U is doing worse than the Dreamcast should say, hello,
People cared about the Dreamcast.
Yeah, like stop.
Like, I feel like if the Dreamcast was like discontinued and everyone was like, "Oh my god, like that's crazy." But if they did that, like, if Nintendo just stopped making consoles, nobody would know.
Yeah,
they'd just be like, "Oh, I can buy Mario."
I thought the Wii U was the Wii. What the hell's the difference? There's a gamepad.
That's a gamepad.
Yeah, there's a new controller. It's the same thing. The graphics are so damn far behind. But that just shows my PC gamer side there. I'm sorry, everybody.
Such an asshole.
Yeah, I know. Master Race, what are you gonna do? It's not my fault.
I'm burdened with glorious purpose.
It's not my fault. I came from birth of the PC generation. The first game I ever played was Rampage on a floppy disk. It's what I do.
Rampage on a floppy disk.
Rampage is the lizard and the ape. And the wolf, the Wolverine. Anyways, so yeah, well done, sir. Well done. I liked it a lot. So moving forward, we got there was some big news recently that came for the Destiny community, and this is going to be a nice little conversation here because we're going to take some time about it. Recently, as of Tuesday, Destiny released a microtransaction that is $30 to give you a level 25 character that also has one fully maxed out subclass, as well as a decent amount of some weapon telemetries, which allow you to level up your weapons quickly. Did I say $30 already? Did I mention that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for $30. Again, this is what a lot of people get mad about when it comes to microtransactions is when it comes out of simple cosmetic things, when it does something that people think is affecting the game. And I do believe you and I have a little bit of differing opinions on this.
Maybe a little different.
And I do want to hear what you have to say about it. So that is the news. That is what people have gotten hit with. Everyone knew that already, so I couldn't just hide that from you guys. But why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think about it?
Well, I think Bungie is standing on some very thin ice with this kind of like move that they're like, this is what everybody's afraid of, is these kind of microtransactions is what everyone tries to not have, because it looks really bad, because the ultimate thing everyone's afraid of is a pay to win like kind of system where that is the end figure. You give Bungie money and they give you Galahorn 2.0, whatever is equivalent.
Video game Ragnarok.
Yeah, and at that moment, your game is dead. It no longer is competitive. It no longer has people kind of
will stop playing it.
Yeah,
that at that point you have said to the public, we care more about the amount of money that we're going to make for the short amount of time that you're going to keep playing our game than continuing to make this game.
Yeah, and I think with the thing that they started doing with like emotes and cosmetic kind of purchases, that's totally fine. I have never been against cosmetic purchases in any game. A lot of games do it, and it's how they make their money. Like most free MOBAs do that, and
Piece of shit MOBAs.
Hone does it too.
I know.
But with this kind of thing where you pay money, a micro transaction, $30 is not a micro transaction. I would say that's a full-on transaction. That's the price of the game. But paying $30 to get a little over half-leveled character was kind of weird. And I feel like it's not that important. It's not exactly game-breaking at all, but at the same time, it's so scary. And it's first of all, anybody that would pay $30 to level 25, just spend a couple hours playing the game before you just throw down $30. That's really lazy. But if you don't have enough time, then play a different game.
Yeah.
Destiny's not a game where people can have no time to play.
Correct.
No time to explain, but time to play. You have time to.
I remember that stupid ass conversation we had about no time to explain. So I have to just switch tracks for a moment because I gotta tell the story. I was still fairly new to Destiny, and I get a message from you and Laura both, or Laura texts me, and then you message me, and you guys are like, "Get on Destiny," and I'm like, "What for?" And you just say, "No time to explain." And I didn't know that was a gun. And I'm like, how is there truly no time to explain? Like, something that intense happening. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're just like, no time to explain. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? So then I get on, and I remember you guys told me, and I just, that was so funny to me just because it was like, it was just perfect. It was just,
I can't imagine that might have been a little disappointing for you.
No,
no time to explain. You got a gun. What was it? Oh, there's a gun called No Time to Explain.
I knew for a fact that there was obviously you guys weren't being held hostage by a Bungie developers. And you're like, you need a third friend now. We will delete your account.
3-on-3.
3-on-3 versus Bungie bitches. Let's do this. Oh God, okay. Robbie, no time to explain. Get on.
But yeah, I think back to the topic. I think that. It's kind of it's just such a weird move, and I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable that you could pay $30 to get a level 25 character, and I know a lot of games do it, and I know it's not that big of a deal, but it's kind of it's not disrespectful. I don't want to go as far as it's disrespectful, but I think it's just so weird to kind of give that option to so there's players who can't afford that, and they have to work for it, or if you can't afford it, you can just kind of go right ahead, and it's creating a weird economy that is similar to the real world that I disagree with on a fundamental level, and it makes me sad.
Yes. So would you say, if you had the choice, if Bungie walked up to you and said, should we do this or should we not, what would you say?
Say don't do it.
You would, straight up, okay. And your big fear is that it's the gateway drug.
It is definitely the gateway drug.
Okay. So, yes, I do have a different opinion. I think that this is a fine microtransaction, and here is why. Many games in the past have tried to even put out videos where they try to explain why they do stuff like this. WildStar was an MMO, albeit now I would say failed one. So if you're still playing WildStar, get your shit together. What the hell are you doing? But it came out, and they did a little video about how they were like, oh yeah, it's a subscription-based game, but you can pay with it with an in-game thing. And they explained, they're like, well, Johnny here doesn't have a job, so he can play the game a lot, and therefore he can continue to play the game because he has a lot of time. Jimmy here has a job, so he doesn't have enough time to play the game, so he can pay for it, so it's fine. And it does create that whole, well, where's the fairness there? But at the same time, that game didn't do it very well. There is one game I'm going to name out real quick that is doing this exact same thing, and it's doing fine from it. World of Warcraft. After Michael just stuck his tongue out at me. After
it was a sexual thing. It wasn't I wasn't mocking him. I was trying to turn you on.
My bad. I took that signal wrong.
I love when you talk about World of Warcraft.
Shut the fuck up. I once talked his ear off about World of Warcraft, and it was a scary level of nerdness.
Yeah, I've never been out nerded before. It was scary.
Okay, that was the day we decided to do the podcast. World of Warcraft does one, and it's $60. And World of Warcraft has done specific types of microtransaction like this for a very long time. Realm transfers, race transfers, all sorts of stuff like that. And when you think about it, it truly is a cosmetic thing. And what it does, in my eyes, is if you have the money, you can give it to the developer and support it. In this case, why I'm okay with it with Destiny is because Destiny said, we don't want to put out paid expansions anymore. We want it to be paid for through microtransactions, and then we'll put them out for you. If Destiny follows through with that promise, then I'm going to continue to stand behind the fact that I think that this is okay. Because to me, it's been tested before on MMOs. And the most it's going to do, and the biggest argument that people have for it to affect the game, is that you have effectively given someone a character that they have no idea how to play. And they're going to join you on a strike, and they're not going to know how to play their fucking class. And so the long-running joke on World of Warcraft was, if you didn't know how to play your class, people would say, would you buy that off eBay? Because, like, you just had you had a max level character, great gear and everything, but you sucked ass, so it was really confusing. And that's what everybody's big argument is normally for stuff like this, is that it is game affecting because it's going to put idiots in powerful shoes. And I have not come across a situation where someone was an idiot specifically because they did that. People are idiots already, and people, whether or not they level from 1 to 40 or from 25 to 40, are going to be just as dumb as they were either way, in my eyes. I feel like if this really is going to pay for it, I have no reason to buy it, so I don't care. You have no reason to buy it. Those of us who really like the game, we're not going to put money towards it, so it's not going to affect us whatsoever. But if Bungie goes, okay, we're also going to have you guys pay for the next expansion, then I'm going to jump on the train of y'all done fucked up. Because that would mean that you would correct here, that it was the slippery slope, that it was the gateway drug, and that they went down with it. And that would make me extremely, extremely unhappy.
To argue a point on your side, because that's what I do, I would say that the game doesn't even start until you hit level 40, like the real grind. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter.
True.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. It's scary.
No, I know,
and that's why I'm against it. It's not this thing itself that I'm against. I'm against what it could represent.
Yes.
And
I've been through this before, friend.
I understand.
When Warlords of Draenor came out and they announced that they were going to do something like this, the whole World of Warcraft community was up in arms. We were like, no, it's going to ruin our fucking game. And then it just kind of got swept on the rug because we were like, oh, wait, it really didn't do anything. So I've already been through this before, but I understand the pain you're going through, and I'm sorry, and I'll hug you after the show. I will. I'll hug you. I just want to let everybody know, Michael and I actually held hands last night during the beginning of Star Wars because we got so excited. So, Julie, Michael's wife, I'm coming. Michael. I just had to throw that out there. I'm sorry. Okay, so you feeling Destinied out?
Never.
I mean, talking wise, right?
I wanted to talk real quick about the challenge modes in Destiny. I haven't done any of them yet, but
let's hear it.
So, as everybody who plays Destiny probably knows, challenge modes were kind of introduced fairly recently. And they're basically, in the raid, you have to beat a boss in a specific manner, and you get rewarded things. And it's, simple kind of system. The issue was that the people that really wanted challenge mode are the people that are really, really, really into Destiny and really, really into raiding. And they really wanted something a lot more intense. Because they're like, the people that are beating Crota on hard mode 3 times a week...
there's hard mode and then there's challenge mode?
There's no. So what it is normal mode and hard mode each have a challenge.
Oh.
So for example, you go to fight the war chief.
Priest.
Uh-huh. It's been a while.
Thrall is the war chief.
So you go to fight the war priest, and on normal or on hard, and the challenge is that no one person can, or the same person can't hold the aura.
Okay.
in one round.
Okay.
So you would have to switch it every time. And if you correctly do that and beat the War Priest, then you would get rewarded a artifact. And then every week it changes which boss it is. And this week or last week it's Oryx. I forget what the whole challenge mode for Oryx was. But basically they've been pretty easy. And the people that really wanted this didn't want it to be easy.
Right.
Like the people that are having... So the whole thing is... I think it's a little disappointing. I wasn't too excited for it myself, so it wasn't a big, letdown. But I feel the pain of the people that were. Because say you're a guy and you play Destiny pretty casually.
Whoa.
Or
you can also be a girl.
You could be a girl. I'm so sorry.
Jeez,
or
dude.
you could be anything, really.
I'm a chick, okay?
You were a thing, and...
You are an undetermined gender
but
human.
You're definitely not an object thing, but a thing that it could be anything.
This is getting scarily PC. Let's keep going.
Woo.
PC principal shows up.
Listen, bro.
That's a microaggression, bro.
So the people who play it really casually are going to not have any problems completing the challenges, but they didn't even want the challenges. They had enough problems just playing it itself. Like beating War Priest with the challenge mode is just not an option. It's just beating War Priest in general was was the casual kind of like challenge. And then the people that have a really easy time going through the raid, they wanted something to make it harder so that they could be challenged.
Yes,
they want a challenge, and they didn't really get that. And that's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not like Bungie, you done sucked up the casuals again.
No, Bungie,
goddamn it!
There's a lumberjack playing.
Yeah, there's some guy out in the middle
He's
of
in his cabin. He's like he rides on a bike to get power. He's like playing Destiny.
he's raiding with a bunch of oxen. God damn it! War Priest challenge was too easy.
Me and my cattle could do this.
My goddamn oxen's 320 light, and I'm not.
I'm not even 320.
I'm not even 320 light.
All right. Move on. God damn it. It's funny.
But anyway, I don't know what I haven't been to. I've been taking a Destiny break. I've been taking kind of a video game break.
Yes.
For this whole Star Wars week, but
we both have.
I think Destiny's got to start making some more obvious moves towards so to let the people know what they're doing, because right now it's just I'm just waiting for the next Destiny.
Yeah.
Because
Destiny Toi.
Spirit Racing, super cool, whatever. But I'm not gonna, dedicate the next couple months of my life playing that.
I'm sorry, I said Destiny Toi, and that's 3 in French. So
you're such an
yeah, I'm an idiot.
So the last thing, real quick, I know I say I want to talk about Destiny a lot, and I actually don't that much. But it's because I'm holding back so much passion. A lot of people are under the impression that there's not going to be a Destiny 2, that it's just going to be a continuous game, more like World of Warcraft and things. But I've read Activision kind of public kind of business-y notes.
Press release?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
But they explicitly say there's going to be a Destiny 2. And I don't. I'm like, and it was like, is there going to be a Destiny 2? Is there going to be a Destiny 2? There's probably going to be a Destiny 2. Their whole idea was the whole system they had was game release, big game release, DLC, huge expansion, DLC, game release, and it would alternate. Every other year, a game would come out, a numerical update, and on the off year would be a big, the September of the year after Destiny came out was Taken King.
Yeah.
And then the next September is going to be Destiny 2. And in between is going to be a bunch of little DLCs. And, it was a super, easy to understand kind of process that they kind of put out there. And a lot of people are just kind of what's going to happen? Oh and if they don't do that, I'm not saying that is 100% going to happen, but I'm just why would we assume anything other than what that we know? So if it doesn't happen, that's fine. I'm not, going to say, oh, damn it, I want Destiny 2.
Fucking Destiny!
But I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Destiny 2. I don't know why anybody would think there's not going to be a Destiny 2.
Well, it makes sense on a PC game that you would just have one continuous game for a while, because you can just continuously patch that shit and people will upgrade their systems. This is a disc of Destiny that we're talking about on a hardware limited system. So it would make so much more sense for them to continuously upgrade it with Destiny 2.
Especially since it's limited by the last generation of consoles.
You're right. You told me about this.
The fact that they would, like 10 years down the line, making updates to Destiny when that game was released on PS3 or Xbox 360, that's so stupid. By the way, the second I ditched the old generation, got the new gen of consoles, I've been so like anti old console. Like I'm so mad. They specifically like stated, Bungie said it a lot of times, that they held back what Destiny could do to make sure that it was a more cohesive experiance for last gen players.
Which is stupid.
It made me so mad.
Still,
like I know that
plebs.
I'm not allowed to be angry at that because like
fucking peasants.
I don't want to be one of you, like you fucking master race assholes, but. But god damn it,
this is natural. I'm sorry.
Old gen consoles.
It's not my fault.
If you have an old gen console
royalty.
and you can't afford a new one, I'm very sorry, but you can't play Destiny anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to say. Some games just need to be next gen, and they should be built like that. But I do have to say that we've spoken about Destiny for quite some time now, and I think we should move on. We love you, Destiny, so send us free stuff. So I have, there's a game that came out recently that's just gotten so much positive news, and it's just continuous positive news every time you hear about it. And that game's called Rocket League. And yeah, you say that word in a room and people just get happy. You know, like you could walk into like the saddest room in the world and you say Rocket League.
You go into an orphanage of European children who've never heard of
Eastern European
children who've never heard of video games
the
before.
chavs or whatever.
Yeah, and you say, "Hey everybody,"
Rocket League,
and they go, "Oh,
Rocket League,"
and then they all,
yeah. And then it's just everyone's happy.
And
then you leave, and then they forget, and then they go back to their unhappiness.
They're sad again.
But no, anyways, Rocket League had a budget of $2 million, and this was news that came out recently. A budget of $2 million, and they have made $50 million so far. That is, I can do the math. So that's 25 times more than their budget. That's huge. That's effing insane.
That is a success.
There's a game that came out a couple years ago called APB. And
I've heard of that game.
It flopped so incredibly hard, they ended up selling the game for 1% of the amount that they spent on it.
Oh, that's so sad.
So Rocket League essentially did the opposite of APB, and I think I just wanted to kind of throw that out there because it's pretty depressing what happened to APB. But yeah, man, Rocket League is just it's just this constantly growing concept, and no one's going like, "Oh, you greedy sons of bitches! Look at how much money you made." They're like, "Good for you! You guys put out a solid game." It doesn't like you lose a game of Rocket League and you don't go, fucking bug made me lose. You go, shit, I need to get better. Like, you know,
it looks like that was my fault, guys.
It appears that I need to get better at playing super fast car soccer game.
It brings out the honest gamer that never existed before.
It does. And there is a lack of toxic people on that game. Me and my friend Jonathan play that game on PC, where you're going to find the most toxic players. And I'm a PC gamer, but I'm sorry, guys. We're fucking assholes, so we should really tone our shit down.
You guys are really mean.
We are. If you played a MOBA, it's terrible. Mm-hmm. It is ridiculous. So whenever... I know, it's awful. I got to hold back tears, you know. I have post-traumatic MOBA disorder.
Yeah. I had a guy yell at me on a PlayStation once, and then he apologized.
Yeah. You're never going to have that happen on PC. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is when me and my buddy Jonathan go into these games and we play, you have very few instances when people are assholes. And when they are assholes, always fun. It brings out our shitty side and we get to go right at them. But most of the time, I'll just go, you know what? Like, get your toxic ass somewhere else. Like,
brother, change your life.
Hey, brother, why don't you change your life? and it really is, because it's just like, dude, like... For some reason, people are just in a good mood when they're playing that game, and it's really cool. And I mean, I just think it's awesome for Rocket League, and I wish we had more to talk about with Rocket League. But it's the same game every time, and but I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not like, you know, the Rocket League expansion is coming out, so we don't have much to talk about. They did have that Winter Games coming out, and they got all these mutators, which I try not to play too much because I don't want to get used to a different thing than the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, they got a puck out right now and stuff. It's kind of cool. A lot of fun if you're going for like a party game. You can sit all your friends down and play mutators and stuff like that. So that's really cool. But I mean, I'm a serious Rocket League player, so.
You know what else is kind of interesting is that when Rocket League was released on PlayStation, it came out as the free game for PlayStation.
That's so fucking
Plus.
awesome. Yeah.
So I think like a majority or a large portion at least of PlayStation players are playing Rocket League for free.
Mm-hmm. And they still made that much money, huh?
Still made that much money back is pretty incredible.
And their DLCs aren't even that aren't overpriced at all. Not even that overpriced. Not overpriced at all. And none of the cars are faster than the other ones. So it's not like buy the DeLorean and go way faster than everybody else. But I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. Another hearty congratulations to Rocket League because
Okay,
that was good.
So there's a little bit more than probably
yeah. So moving on, another game that is coming. That's making big waves, and I just kind of wanted to talk about real quick is Ark Survival Evolved. Ark Survival Evolved is what a skeptic like myself would call another goddamn Rust clone.
Ugh.
Yeah, and but I bought it, and
you're an asshole and a hypocrite.
Hey man, I am, but I just have a few points I need to make about this game real quick. So DayZ comes out on PC a couple of years back. The mod does, and it brings a new idea of survival game into that surfaces. After that, Gary Newman creates Rust, and it sells way more than he wanted it to or expected it to, and it caused this whole big fiasco. But it took the survival aspect of DayZ and added building to it. So it combined Minecraft and scary survival. It smushed them together, and it made this really, really good game. The problem was every single one that came out was in early access and was a piece of shit. So what happened is, over Steam, over the next couple of years, was this craze of, well, Rust made a buttload of money, so let's make a shitty survival game, put it out in EA, combine all this dumb bullshit that we can to try to gimmick it to people, and then just start pumping out these crappy games, sell as many as we can, and just let it die. It's true. There's so many. There's Life is Feudal. There's Castle Z Miners. Okay, that's like the stupidest. It's like DayZ and Minecraft like together in Castle Z Miners, and it's like you say it like that. It's like miners. Like kids.
Ooh.
Castle Z kids. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. Ugh.
You master race people are awful.
Edit this out. No, anyways, my point is, for so long, people like myself who really liked Rust had nothing else to go to. They were all shit. And then Ark Survival shows up out of nowhere, and it's like, hey, look at our beautiful game in this trailer. And me and the rest of my skeptical Rust friends are like, sure. And then it comes out, and I'm like, you know what? This thing went on sale. I'm going to give it a shot. And goddamn if Ark Survival isn't a damn good game. It turned out really well. There's a lot of issues that they still need to fix, and they're fixing them daily. But that game did what was considered to be the impossible. It took a survival game, a Rust clone essentially, but made it its own and did a good job. And because of this, it's coming out on PlayStation and Xbox. And I think, as far as I know, that's the first Rust clone survival game that's made the leap from PC to console. And I think that shows a lot about how Ark is a different level than these other survival games.
Yeah, the only other like that type of survival game that I've heard is on PS4 or coming to PS4 is The Forest, which isn't even out yet. Yeah. But I think that game's kind of the same idea. Like,
hey, guess what? I bought the fucking Forest too on PC.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's all right. It's just stupid. Like, I am such a sucker for those games, dude.
But I think that's the only other game I ever heard that was coming to PS4, but it's not out yet, so it doesn't matter. But I'm like, you told me about Ark, and I was just like listening to you talk about it, and I was just like, dinosaurs, survival, crazy survival game. Sure, it's fun, whatever. And like, I just totally didn't believe you at all.
Tell me how you really feel about what I'm talking to you. Holy hell!
It's just like words.
You guys should see the face he's making about this.
Yeah, I try to make my face as ugly as possible.
That Ding.
But you were telling me about Ark, and it sounded cool, but
Mm-hmm.
it was on PC, so I didn't care. And because my PC's broken, not because
I know.
my PC's broken, I can't
don't
play.
excuse yourself. Just let our fans.
I don't care about PC. I'm just a console shell for corporate America.
Just a Bungie fan.
I'm just a Bungie fanboy.
Bungie ad.
Yeah,
Thanks
I'm a
for-
living Bungie ad. I'm the son of Deej, a living Bungie ad. No, but you were telling me about Ark, and it sounded cool, but I didn't, care too much because I didn't think I was ever going to be able to play it because my PC's broken.
Right.
And then I went and I looked up some of my favorite Let's Players were playing it, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch this video. And it looks so cool. And I was so sad. I'm like, I'm never going to play this game. And it looks so cool.
It is.
And then I heard they're making it for PS4, and I was
Yeah.
like, I just rejoiced. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Sony Jesus. Yeah,
Sony
it's
Jesus.
and the thing that excites me the most about that is that it can't transition to PlayStation and Xbox in early access. So they're gonna have to actually get it out of early access, which is a limbo for so many games on Steam. Which I think is the whole reason they even made Steam refunds, was because of early access games. But that's a whole different conversation. So I do have to get my boner out this week. I have a boner, and I need to show it to the world.
Tell me all about it.
Yeah, you want to hear about it?
I want to hear about your boner.
Yeah. By the way, this boner is my indie boner of the week. This is the segment where I tell you about whatever I'm having a stupid hard-on for this week. That's a little indie game. This week is a game that's actually been out on Steam for a little while, and it's called Windward. Like Windward, like W-A-R-D. And it's a 4-player game where you traverse the ocean as fucking pirates. And it is... Pirates in video games is something that has never really been done as well as I wanted it to be. And I've had a conversation with my friend Jake about this. And this game, from what I've seen and from the small amount that I've been able to play, it does it really well. It allows you to play the game in lots of different ways. Like, you can go and you can just trade between settlements and just do that if that's what you want to be. You want to be a little merchant character, that's fine. Or you can go out and travel the high seas and fucking take other people out. And, like, it just gives you all these different options, and it does a really good job of allowing that pirate open world gameplay that the whole genre hasn't been given very well, and I don't know. That's why I like it.
That's something I don't know anything about this game, but I can back up your claim that there's never been a good pirate game.
Right.
Except maybe you could maybe consider Assassin's Creed Black Flag,
yeah.
which was the last good Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
That game was really good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really a pirate game.
Yeah.
So I will stand by there's never been a good pirate game.
Right. Yeah, there hasn't. And I mean, other than this, there's another. I mean, we'll do a double boner this week because there's another game called Pixel Piracy that I own that I've played quite a lot, and it's this really goofy little game. But it allows you to be a pirate again, and it's just like all they need to do is take these games and just go and just wrench them open and just allow for so much more expansion to it. And I think and the reason I want to mention these games is because I want people who like pirate games and all that stuff to jump on this and be like, well, these games are actually doing it well. Let's support this and let's show people that gamers want that. I think that'd be really cool. And so that is my indie boner of the week. That's my certified boner.
I would say that the internet community, at least for one reason or another, kind of puts pirates on a pedestal as a kind of a symbol for their ways.
Can't imagine why.
And I don't know why, but so and the internet community is largely made up of gamers.
Yeah.
So I think it would be really lucrative to make a good pirate game.
Yes.
I think
Yes, it really would.
People probably want that, and
People would like it. Yeah.
because there's never been a good one. There's probably not a lot of obvious demand for pirate games.
Yeah.
No one's like, give me a pirate game now.
And that's why I'm saying showing these games off and people buying them, showing that there are people supporting these games, might help the other companies go, okay, we can break out of our safe space and maybe give this a shot,
Make a cool pirate game.
Make a cool pirate game, and then people will see, people will play that shit. People will play the shit out of that shit.
Probably.
Everybody
I think a
wants
lot
to
of
be
people.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Everybody.
Everybody does. I mean, let's be honest. I wear mascara every day because of him. You can see it.
Nobody drank rum before that movie came out. Because rum is awful. And then everyone's like, rum is the best.
But really, though, I think it'd be awesome if they had a good pirate game come out. So we're hitting upwards of an hour here. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Anything else you'd like to get out?
I think if you're going to make pirate games, you should probably make some Viking games too.
Viking games? That's a fucking good point. Viking games would be cool.
There's a few Viking games.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the thing about like kind of that era of history is like it's always inspired aspects of game lore. Like, oh, in this game they worship gods that are like exactly like Norse gods, and like oh, these are or not pirate, but these are like oh, these are Viking characters, but they're not called Vikings. They're just like they just have the dragon longships and they worship God Odin, but Odin's spelled different.
Odin with a Y.
Oh yeah. So, but I would just like a straight up Viking game where you play a Viking.
I think that'd be really cool too, and a Viking game would be really awesome. I'd have to agree. But
what was that pirate game called again?
Windward.
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 How much is it on Steam right now?
$14.99.
It's a steal.
It's a goddamn steal.
Go buy it right
it's a 4-player game too. So
oh really?
Yeah, it's something you can play with your friends. Which my whole thing about open world games playing with my friends is I like the idea of traveling the world and going, hey, look at that, that's my friend over there, you know, and like that would just on the I know I said earlier today that I'm terrified of the ocean, but for some reason I love sailing in video games. I'm very weird.
You want to conquer the ocean.
I don't like being underneath the ocean, and I don't like thinking about what's under the ocean. That's what scares me. I know there's no goddamn like kraken and something like that, but like, man, when I look down at the ocean, like ever since I was a kid, when I would be like under the water and I'd be like looking up and the sun rays would come through, to me they looked like a giant octopus, and I'd have this fear that an octopus is going to suck me down and not let me come back up. And like, you know, when the seaweed tickles my feet, you know, I'm like, that thing's going to pull me down to the underworld, and, you know, and sea Hades is going to kill me.
Sea Hades.
Sea Hades instead of fire on his head, he has coral. But yeah, but like sailing and all that stuff in the games is really cool. And so I mean, it's a really cool game. Pixel Piracy, on the other hand, is not co-op, but I think it's about the same price. You know, I think those games are really cool, and I think we're gonna have to put something on the website for Boner Certified. It's just gonna have 2 giant dicks.
Dick for thumbs.
Dick for thumbs.
That's a fucking great idea.
That would be so inappropriate. But
maybe you could just have a thumbs and then just blur it out, because
now we're thinking.
You can't have like
now we're thinking.
You can't have like.
Let's not talk about this right here, because the fans are gonna take the idea.
Oh no! They're gonna get
don't take
close.
our goddamn idea, you asshole.
I've always wanted a game though that you play, and it's like maybe like a Bethesda-sized world where you play with a small amount of friends.
That's what I've always said. Like when everyone was like, "Can we have co-op on Skyrim?" You know, make Skyrim 4-player co-op, and the owner of the world, his world or her world, his or her world is the one that continues to get changed, and you are a guest in that game. And there's 4 players, tops, Borderlands style. Not an MMO, nothing like that. You can still have the world-affecting story. You can still go clear a dungeon. You can still go do all that stuff, but you can do it with your friends, and it's in that size world. I think that would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't know why they haven't made that, or at least tried to.
Well, we just, like me and you.
I think the closest to that might be like Grand Theft Auto 5.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is pretty cool, but there's no dragons. So think about if they added dragons.
Find me a dragon.
Finds me a dragons.
I would love for Rockstar. I mean, I know a friend named Sam who would hate this because Sam is sick of fantasy games, but I would love if Rockstar made a fantasy game. Like just like the way they did Red Dead, and Red Dead's probably one of my favorite games of all time.
Red Dead Redemption Zombie DLC was the greatest thing ever made.
It was amazing.
The greatest thing ever made.
But I think if they did that, like a GTA style like engine game in a fantasy world, it'd be so fun.
Yes, it would. I have to agree.
We should get together sometime, and we should talk about video game ideas.
We should maybe sit down for like an hour a week and just talk about video game ideas. How cool would that be?
Wow.
Maybe put it out on iTunes or something?
Yeah.
You think? That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe people could listen to it and they
support us.
They could support us,
and they'd like it and help us make it be like a full-time thing for us.
Yeah, and then they could follow me on Twitter at Michael Bubbles.
I like where this is going.
And then they could send me ideas about the games that they want to play, and then I can come to you and we could talk about them in like a public format.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Like maybe on the radio type thing.
Yeah, they could maybe even go to like...
They can go to the website.
Yeah.
They have a website,
BthroughZ.Tk.
And they can go there, they can listen to the ideas we came up with, and then send us more feedback at BthroughZpodcast@gmail.com.
That's such a good idea.
I love these ideas. These are great ideas if only they were true. Oh, wait! They fucking are!
This is all true. This whole conversation is true.
Yes, this wasn't hypothetical, bitches. No, but really, follow Michael on Twitter. What's your Twitter?
At Michael Bubbles.
At MichaelBubbles.com. No?
That's not how Twitter works. Robbie doesn't know much about Twitter.
My age is showing right now.
It's just at the at symbol. Michael Bubbles.
You don't spell it at? AT?
No, you just use the symbol for at.
Okay.
Does it have a name? Is there a different name for that?
No, that's it. Is that
the at button?
At MichaelBubbles at Twitter.com, right? Whatever. At Michael Bubbles, hashtag Michael Bubbles. Anyways, yeah, visit Michael on Twitter, visit our website, BthroughZ.Tk. I said last week that it was BthroughZ.Tk.com, and I apologize, that was real dumb of me. But yeah, we have a website that we've been building for a while now. Our tech god, Adam, has been putting in a shit ton of work. But for real, like that website, Adam ground up built that thing. So tell us what you feel about that. Check us out on YouTube. I think YouTube, motherfucker, yeah. And we got a YouTube channel, BthroughZ official podcast. Man, we got it all. So just tell the world, spread the cheer. It is Christmas time.
The peanut butter.
Spread the peanut butter. That is BthroughZ. And the world is a jelly sandwich. And we'll just
it's kind of
clap
gross
together. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Whatever. I'm done.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, guys. Have a good one. And gals.
Woo.